Now, as we have been reporting, some Americans are at risk of losing access to local news if the House approves more than $1 billion in funding cuts to the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. NPR says it receives about 2% of its funding from federal grants. PBS says it gets about 15%. While those aren't very large numbers, relatively speaking, there is still plenty of concern that stations in remote or rural areas may have to scale back operations, creating news deserts in some parts of the U.S. PBS documentarian and director Ken Burns spoke to CBS Evening News co-anchor John Dickerson about this on Face the Nation earlier this month.
It is the Declaration of Independence applied to the communications world. It's a bottom-up. It's the largest network in the country. There's 330 stations. It mostly serves, and this is where the elimination of funding for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting is so short-sighted. It mainly serves rural areas in which the PBS signal may be the only signal they get. This seems foolhardy and seems misguided.
For more on this, let's bring in Scott Nover. He's a media reporter for The Washington Post. Thanks so much for joining us. What kind of changes do you think people will be seeing at their television stations? How long until this funding in particular runs out?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, at local radio and TV stations, you might start seeing the effects as early as, well, after this rescission bill passes. The funding effort is really an effort to claw back money that Congress has already appropriated for public media stations, both TV and radio. And while those should go into effect by the start of the new fiscal year, October 1st, these stations all around the country need to figure out how to make up sizable amounts of their budget. And that could mean immediate cuts, loss of services or the kinds of news stories or information that they report or kids programming. Cuts could come from all across the board.
Yeah, and it could affect so many people. But as we've been talking about, rural and remote areas will be hit the hardest in all of this. Is there a sense of which regions of the country would be the most affected? And what other options do these folks have when it comes to getting their news locally?
Yeah, I wouldn't think about it regionally. I would just think outside of the major cities. There are small public radio stations. There are great public radio stations and public TV stations in New York and DC, LA, San Francisco. But it's really these small cities that might have 20,000 people or fewer. I was talking to reporters in Alaska today, in towns much smaller than that depend on public media. Really, the whole idea of public media is that it's a counter to commercial interests, that there might not be a market, especially in today's day and age, to bring in commercial media and have enough advertising and subscriptions to serve a really small market. Let alone the places in between markets. And so it's really rural America that is going to be hurt the most. These are the stations all across the country that are more dependent on government funding and have a smaller pool of potential donors and affluent people that could choose to either become a donor of the station or, just chip in a few bucks here or there.
Yeah, on that note.
More and more rural, the more trouble they're in.
Yeah, absolutely. And Scott, that makes me think of that slogan you always hear at PBS is made possible by viewers like you. How much does fundraising help public broadcasters? And would it be enough to subsidize these losses?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a question because even if it's a small percentage of a budget, let's say 5% of a station's budget comes from, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which is the entity that Congress set up to make this, making up 5% of your budget in 10 weeks' time is no easy feat. So, every station manager and owner is going to have to be thinking about how to, who they can call to try to bridge the gap, foundations, wealthy individuals. But, is that who we want to be funding, our public media exclusively? It doesn't seem like it's obvious that is the answer to this either.
Scott Nover, thank you very much for providing some insight in all this.
Thank you.